Well, one of the things that the caller said was that she joined in with him. So that means their bond, which was they're using together, drinking together, whatever it was, has now been taken away. So they are now missing something in their relationship, and they need to rebuild something in that spot there.
How do you pick a marriage therapist? I have a therapist.
That's a good question.
Yeah, because I have a therapist, and he's on Team Judah.
Right.
Hopefully, so is my psychiatrist,
right.
my ex-life coach. Hopefully on Team Judah.
It takes a lot to keep
it
you.
Takes a lot. It takes a lot to
it?
get me here tonight. But how do you do that when it's two people? I mean, that's got to be one of the hardest things in the world.
My advice is always let the wife pick the therapist. And truthfully, I think that women tend to feel more ganged up on by therapists than men do. And if you let the woman choose a therapist, it tends to work out better.
It's like a seat in a restaurant.
Yeah, sort of. But also, I think that, the best thing is to really ask around and talk to people. There's so many different types of therapists with so many different approaches. And, obviously in this case with Dawn and her husband, I look for someone that has experience with addiction, as well as, family systems theory, and definitely make sure that they're qualified. So I'd be looking for a master's level therapist.
Were you just shaking your head? Oh, are we about to take a break?
No, I was getting I'm too far away from the mic, even though I can't speak because of my cold. But anyway.
And we're going to bring in our next hour's guest in a minute.
Yes, we have
a very funny comedian.
Yes, Gabrielle.
Gabrielle Francis.
Yes, we're going to bring her in, have her tell us about herself and what she's doing.
So it's basically only if you're talking about therapy do you get like really
I'm going to do the therapy talk and then
right. It's like everything else is like okay.
He's starting. She's starting to fade.
It's
now
like he gets
because,
it's like he gets really excited when he talks about treatment. I was going to say this. I don't work for Andrew. I don't work for the Klean Center. And one of the things I absolutely love about Andrew, and you and I have been sober in this great Los Angeles area for a long time. There's a lot of, let's just say, not the most honest of folk in the treatment industry, and Andrew's one of the good guys. And it's very important, when you're going to get help, that you find one of the good guys, one of the good people, because it's got to be hard. It's got to be really rough out there. You have everybody trying to get you into treatment, into different facilities, and they'll promise you anything. Mm-hmm. And one of the things you're going to stop by this week, you got to see the Klean Center. It's amazing, and I'm not getting paid to say this. The place is amazing.
Well, I would use the same criteria I did if I had cancer or whatever. I'd want the best, doctor I could find, the best oncologist I could find. I'd want to know about the facilities, and there are treatment centers out there, and I use that word loosely, that essentially give you a bed, a couple of people with a little bit of sobriety as techs. A medical director, we were talking about this earlier, that's there maybe once a week, and you get what's called a $35,000 big book. They have a little white van, and they send you to AA meetings, where you get your stuff. And to me, that's not treatment.
Yeah, 97% of all rehabs or residential treatment centers are 12-step based. What's interesting about Klean is that we're actually not 12-step based. We do 12-step work, and we take people to meetings if they choose to while they're in treatment, but we work off what's called the Pennsylvania medical model. So we actually do a lot of work on diagnostic and assessment work with outside affiliated physicians, and we look for underlying dual diagnosis issues and psychiatric disorders, and we do a lot of individual therapy and a lot of family therapy.
One of the things I think is really important too is to understand a little bit of the science of addiction and alcoholism. And I did a grant. A $1 million grant with the National Institute of Alcoholism and Alcohol Abuse with some PhDs at the University of Michigan, and studied all the science of addiction. And when you look at the actual science, in the past 20 years have been amazing what they found about the neurotransmitters and the role of dopamine and the brain chemistry and everything going on. You have brain damage. You have a physical disorder in your brain that you can't think away.
I actually want to get back to that, but let's welcome in our guest, the lovely Gabrielle Francis.
Gabriella.
I'm sorry. That won't happen again. Do people call you Gabby?
They do.
That's why.
And I'm okay with
it.
Gabby. Well, welcome.
Hi.
We're glad to have you here tonight.
I'm really grateful to be here. Thanks for having me.
You have, I've seen your act.
Yes.
which is fantastic, and I recommend if you get a chance to see Gabby, go out and see her. She's a very, very funny comedian, and you have a very unique sort of association. You talk a lot about treatment in your act.
I do.
Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about that? Like what?
Oh, well, I don't want to brag, but I'm in 4 12-step programs, and yeah.
So that's 48 steps. Is that?
Yeah,
Or do you only work 3 in each, so that's 12.
No, I'm fearless and very thorough.
How does that happen? How are you in 4 12-step programs?
Well, I think that when you're an addict pretty much across the board.
So you're an addict of
Really?
12-step programs.
I
Is
am
that
an addict of
possible?
12-step programs. Yes, absolutely. But no, I started in Overeaters Anonymous. I was bulimic for 13 years, and I was actually a compulsive eater since I was a child, and I was born a very normal weight, and then by the time I was 9 months old, I was obese, and so I blame my mother. Hi, Mom.
Yeah, right. Well, be sure to send her the YouTube link on that quote.
Oh no, she's listening. I would like to give a shout out to Marilyn in Stockton, California.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's right.
Hello, Marilyn.
Yes.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and talk to Gabby and find out a little bit more about her 4 12-step programs.
Yes, our first 12-step programs. The number here is 877-830-830. That's 877-830-830. You're listening to KLEAN Radio.
Still disturbed by that dance, Judah.
Just because you can't do it, don't hate. And if Andrew sounds a little down tonight, it's because he's suffering from a cross between, we're not sure yet if it's typhoid or arsenic poisoning.
It's arsenic poisoning or a cold.
And if it's arsenic poisoning, we know who to look for.
We probably do.
My mom was listening in, and she goes, "Don't sit next to the guy that's sick."
I know. I had to take a car ride down here with him. I was like this the whole car ride. Not that you'll see this on
Did you-
YouTube. I was like literally against the window. Part
No,
of the
you
car
should have
ride.
just hung your head out the window like a dog.
And it's people that are constantly sick will never admit that they're contagious. It's like, just say I'm contagious. Just say you might actually get this thing from me.
Okay, Judah, you're probably going to get this
Yeah,
thing
say I'm
from
going to
me.
probably be like you next week. And
I hope not. I mean, I've been like this for 10 days, so hopefully this is the end of it. So,
Wow, that's a long time.
yeah, it was a nasty cold.
And in the studio tonight, we have a amazing comic from what I'm told. I'm not going to say I know you're funny because I have not seen your show, but you appear to be very funny.
Thank you.
And beautiful Gabby Francis. Is that safe to say it like that?
Absolutely.
It's my mother's first name, by the way.
Oh,
So you see the synergy.
Do you
And my
have
mom.
do you have a Facebook page, or
I do.
so how do people reach that?
Facebook.com/Gift of Gabriella.
Gift of Gabriella.
So let's get back to this because I'm actually fascinated by this. The number here is 877-830-830. I'm fascinated by the fact that you are in 4 12-step programs. So let's do this chronologically.
Yes.
You started out with OA.
I started in OA.
You became obese.
No.
Oh,
She was bulimic.
She was bulimic. I thought you
bulimic.
said you were obese at some point.
Oh, at 9 months
At
old.
9 months.
At 9 months old. Okay.
I think that was a joke.
So
But then I started walking and I worked it off, okay?
I lost that one, yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay,
heard
so
obese.
we did the OA.
We did the OA.
Okay.
Let's
Yes.
go to the next.
Al-Anon.
Al-Anon.
Yes.
Was that due to a relationship in your family, or with a boyfriend, or?
Well, in my case, this is what's interesting about Al-Anon is a lot of people think that what qualifies you for Al-Anon is that you're in a relationship with an alcoholic or one of your family members was.
Uh-huh.
But in my case, my dad was actually in Vietnam, so he was a rageaholic as well as a compulsive eater. And a lot of people don't know this, but compulsive overeaters have the identical symptoms of alcoholics as far as their behavior. And so I was dealing with that. And then my mother was also very depressed.
Did someone recommend for you to go to Al-Anon? How did you find out about it?
Well, this will lead you into my other program, which was I was at a dinner party and this guy was super cute and he went to Al-Anon and I thought, oh my God, that is perfect. A guy that works a 12-step program but doesn't have any addictions. That's a big myth. Al-Anons are fucking crazy. Oops.
We do have to watch.
We're on the radio.
Doggone it. Doggone it. No, Al-Anons are crazy.
Right.
They are.
So that was your second.
So I
Foray.
started going to Al-Anon meetings, all the ones he was at, and I got a sponsor at his birthday party, and that was that. Never ended up being my boyfriend, though.
Oh.
No, but he got me into Al-Anon. God knew what would work for me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so we have you in
Yep.
Al-Anon now.
Mm-hmm. Debtors Anonymous. Business Owners Debtors Anonymous, because I am a business owner. So
What type of business?
I'm a comic.
Oh,
That's
okay.
my business. Absolutely. And I also, I work in marketing as well. So that's my other business. And I'm also a makeup artist. And as you can see, I'm very multifaceted, multidimensional.
She has 4 jobs and 4 treatment programs.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what else? Oh, yes. And then as of late, Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous.
And that was because of your relationship with the guy in Al-Anon?
that they went on a spending spree.
No, I wish that I would have found Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous back then. That would have been a big help.
Oh.
But I think that you find the programs when you're ready, you know.
Right.
So, yeah. Or programs. Isn't that hysterical?
Yes.
Because everyone needs more than one.
So do you consider yourself to have an addictive personality? Is that...
No. Hello. I'm social. I'm very social. I just want more friends. You know?
Well, I guess that's a possibility.
Do you see a lot of the same people in the same meetings? Like, is there
Sometimes.
like a cross?
There's a few here and there. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is the most interesting of the fellowships? I'd actually be fascinated to do a whole study, like a book report on, you know.
A book report?
A book, well, you know, a book report.
Drew obviously just got sober and started when he was in 8th grade.
In 8th grade.
I think you're at Judah. You're more at thesis level.
Yes,
than book
this-
report.
well, thank
okay?
you very much, Lowell. Yes, I'd love to do a thesis on, you know, which 12-step group is more, you know, where the more fun is to be had.
Oh, wow. Well, you know, I just love, I love connecting in a really deep way with other people. So I took to it immediately. And if someone says, oh, that was a bad meeting, I don't believe in that. I think that it depends on, you know, your intention when you're there. And, you know, like they say in the big book that if you focus on what's bad, then it gets worse, and if you focus on what's good, it gets better. And I try to focus on what can I bring to the party as opposed to what am I getting from the party, and that makes a huge difference in life in general.